Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another video, and in today's video I want to give out a few tips especially for newer players in War and Order, and I would say we better get right into it. So let's start off with the first tip. So the first tip is actually pretty simple because everybody does it at some point, I believe, and the tip is build some farms. Especially when you're a growing castle, in my opinion, you should think about, okay, how much time do I spend on my main castle and how much time do I want to spend in the game overall. And by that, you can find out if you want to make like 1, 2, 3 or 4 farms for your main castle. In my opinion, it is important to build farms pretty early on, because the earlier you have castles that gather resources for your main castle, the more time your main castle can spend on gathering gems. Why is that so? Well, when you are playing this game on a small budget or no budget at all, it is very helpful when your main castle is gathering gems all the time, because gems are the in-game currency that has the highest value, and it helps you to buy things that help you out with your castle or with your lord improvement. For example, in the hot shop you can get pretty good deals on discounted items that you have to buy with gems, and these items help you out with improving your castle. For example, here we get a pretty good discount on Beast Skill EXP scrolls, and they are very good to help you out to improve your technology. But gems are also the currency when you, for example, want to enter the Savage Lands event for the second or third time. So this is really a good thing when you have castles like farms that gather resources for the upgrades or for the technology researches in your main castle, so your main castle can focus on gathering gems or killing monsters and not spending, or in my opinion wasting its time with gathering resources like wood or food, stone, whatever. So this is actually a pretty simple tip. I believe that all players at some point build a few farms, but I can definitely recommend to get or to start building farms as early as possible, and by that get an early advantage of them, because you win time that your main castle can use to gather gems or kill monsters instead of gathering resources, because you have your farms for that. Okay, so let's go to the next tip. The next tip is something that I have already often said in other videos, and I still think that it is a very helpful tip. It is to grow your castle level fast. In a lot of other videos I've said that it is that it should be your main priority to get C30 as fast as possible, to unlock the Azeroth mine, to get the production of this required resource for certain upgrades going. But already earlier castle upgrades are very important for you to become a strong castle. Why? When we click on your castle and check the growth map, you can see that at certain castle levels you unlock new features. For example, as a C10 you unlock the altar, which will then offer you artifacts. On, for example, C16 you unlock the emblem system, which is very important for your technology improvement. Or for example, on C19 you get an additional march and you unlock the Colossus feature. All of these things are very important to become a strong lord, and because of that I can definitely recommend to reach these castle levels as fast as possible, so you benefit from them as early as possible, and by that you get an advantage over other lords in other kingdoms or in your kingdom as early as possible. Alright guys, so let's jump to the next tip that I have for you. The next tip is also something that I have said in many other videos. It is that you should always have an eye on to never run 100 out of 100. So what does that mean? Your stamina regeneration that you can see in your Lord information only works until you have reached 100 stamina. From then on, it doesn't regenerate any or generate any more stamina. So when you have reached 100 out of 100 stamina, the only way to get more stamina is either to consume potions or to use the stamina recovery skill. But when you run 100 out of 100 with your normal stamina regeneration, you are giving away free improvements. And what do I mean by free improvements? The technology in your castle or for your lord is something that gets together from a lot of different aspects in the game. For example, from your gear that you can be wearing, from your emblems that you have, from your colossus and all of that stuff, and all that comes together. So, and when you are killing monsters, you get things like Lord Experience. Lord Experience is needed to increase your Lord level, and by getting a higher Lord level, you unlock Lord skill points that can be spent to improve your technology, either in the military way or in the development way. And both trees are really, really good and important to improve your castle. Or for example, with monsters you also get superior summon scrolls, which help you to summon monsters, which drop gold coins, which drop Azeroth chests and all of that stuff. And for example, lucky tickets, event items that come up from time to time that also give you rewards that improve your castle. Let's check it out. For example, we just saw that I got a lucky ticket and it can be spent here in the lucky wheel to get additional rewards that help me out with my castle. Here you can see I got artifact EXP, I got material chests. All of these things come together and have a certain value to improve your castle. All of these small things really add up. Or for example, another thing is when monsters drop materials. Materials are needed to forge new gear in a better quality or are also needed to upgrade your emblems. So this is really something, when you run 100 out of 100, you are giving away free improvement. Of course, when we all go to sleep and we try to sleep for, let's say, like 6 to 8 hours, we get to 100, and I cannot recommend to set yourself alarms to wake up in the middle of the night just to keep your stamina regeneration going. But over the day, you should have an eye, or at least try to have an eye, on not running 100 out of 100, so you get the maximum benefit from never running 100 out of 100. There's also another thing where you should have an eye on to never run 100 out of 100. It is your Beast Vulture. Because your Beast Vulture also has a limit of 100, and when it reaches that, you are also giving away free improvement, because with every attack or every time you send your pet to an attack and so on, you get beast experience for that to upgrade or to get a higher level for your beast. And this actually has a very high value. When you check like the shop, the hot shop, how expensive beast EXP pill with 1k costs, then you can see, okay, it has a certain value when it comes to gems, and like every reward that you get has a gem value. And when you then think about running 100 out of 100, you are giving away free improvements. Okay guys, let's continue with the next tip. Okay guys, so the next tip is something, or probably one of the most important tips that I can give to you. Understand the meaning of touchable and untouchable things in your castle. It is also like having a backup. Let's say we have resources up here. These resources can be accessed by other players when they, for example, attack you with a certain amount of players and then plunder your resources. Or also like troops. Troops are a touchable thing because people can attack your castle and then reduce the amount of troops that you have. So these are actually things that are touchable for other players. But what is untouchable for other players are things in your castle like the things you have researched in your college. These are things they can never take away from you. Or also things like a certain building upgrade. When you invest your resources up here to increase your castle level, for example, you will always be a C39, for example, in my case. But those resources are then invested, got me an upgrade, and from that on, they aren't touchable for other players anymore. This also comes down to your things that you have in your pack. I personally see my pack as my emergency fund. For example, the resources. When people zero me, then they get all the resources that I have in my castle. So I try to avoid opening my resource crates. They are my emergency fund, let's say it like that. Because things in your pack can't be touched by other players. They cannot steal the resource crates that I have in here. So I know, okay, let's say I get zeroed and void and they plunder all my resources. Then I know, okay, I have my backup of resource crates that I can use to, first of all, heal my troops, recruit new troops and stuff like that. Because these things are untouchable. The same thing counts for speeds, for example. I see a lot of people that always invest all of their recruitment speeds in every recruitment event. That is up to everybody themselves, of course. But I like to understand, or I see it like that, speeds that I have in here are free troops. Because I have resource crates in here that I can always open, and by that finance the recruitment or the speed recruitment of troops. So if I get zeroed, I know, okay, I have a certain amount of recruitment speeds, and I can, for example, if I get zeroed down to 10 million battle power, then I know, okay, I can stock up to, just as an example, back to 15 million battle power again, because I have an emergency fund of recruitment speeds here in my pack. They are untouchable for other players. Many players often use all of their speeds during the recruitment event in the strongest lot event, which is fine. Everybody can do that. I don't want to tell people how to play the game, but this is just how I see it. So, of course, I recruit troops all the time, but I know that all the speeds that I have here in my pack are actually troops, free troops. And if I get zeroed, I know, okay, this is my emergency fund. I can use it to speed recruit troops again and get back on my feet again. This is what an emergency fund is for. So I like to see my pack as that, and I hope you can reflect touchable and untouchable things to a lot of things in your castle. Things that you have researched, and technology upgrades are a permanent thing that can't be taken away from you, which is I like to invest gems and other things into my permanent technology, into things that are untouchable for other players. And this is just a very valuable tip in my opinion. Understand the meaning of touchable and untouchable things for other players. And now I would say we come to the last tip in this video. And now I come to the last tip that I have for you guys. It is prepare yourself. War and Order is a constant changing game with new updates that bring new events. Inform yourself about these events and maybe make yourself a checklist. Do you have the correct gear equipped? Do you wear the correct achievements, correct pet skills, correct artifacts, and all of that stuff? Try to play as prepared as possible and bring the best performance that you can offer to different situations like events, civil war, or whatever. Or what might happen, or what should you do first when you get hit and get plundered? Should you get into your emergency fund and speed heal all your troops and retaliate? Or just sit down, shield up, and recover first? Think about different scenarios and be prepared for them. So these were 5 tips that I could give you guys from my personal experience. I hope that they helped you out. And if you have tips for other players, let us know down in the comments below. And then I would say, see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.